What's going on, fight fans? This is Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and this is a short initial reaction to the Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin HBO pay-per-view championship match that came on last night. Sorry, I kind of missed it. Hakeem and I wasn't able to watch it until today, so it's a little bit late. But what we got was a really, really good fight. And I have to say, for 2017, this has been the best year for fights. I mean, we got Ward Kovalev 2. We got Joshua versus Klitschko. We got this fight. We got oh man, we got Spence versus Brook. What didn't we get? It's almost Gonzalez versus Sarungkasai 2. Gennady Golovkin versus Danny Jacobs, and we're getting Lomachenko versus El Shakal Rigondeaux later on this year. So this is just adding to 2017 being the best year for boxing that we have gotten in a long time. So we need to appreciate it. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the short breakdown, the initial reaction. To be honest, like I said, it was a great fight. It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, but we thought it was going to be close. And one thing these guys have to be commended for is their chins. They did take some clean shots, and neither one of them were really hurt. Canelo showed some really good upper movement and defense and getting out of trouble, but he was never able to deter Golovkin, and Golovkin turned it up about the fourth round where he just put constant pressure on Canelo and was starting to burn him out in the second half of the fight. You could see him not have the same footwork, the same spring in the step, and Golovkin, he followed him, but he could have did himself way more. He could have did himself more of a service by cutting off the ring instead of following him around. When he did that, he made Canelo fight, and even though he took some shots for his trouble, he landed the harder shots, in my opinion. But it was Canelo's speed, his placement versus Golovkin's steady jab, and kind of working, trying to place his punches. The only problem I had with Golovkin as well was the fact that he kept trying to land the right cross, and Canelo would just turn, step back, and he didn't fire back, but he wasn't in harm's way. And I think Golovkin should have feinted and threw a loop in, or feinted and threw a left hook, which he didn't, but he still got some really good body work in. I did like that he was still able to utilize his jab while Canelo was still able to counter, and he landed that uppercut quite a few times. And then even Golovkin threw a few uppercuts himself to make it interesting. So I got to give kudos to both guys. It was a really close fight to score. I think Hakeem gave it to Canelo. I think he gave him the first 3 rounds and the last 3 rounds. I gave Canelo the first 2, maybe one in the middle, and then the last 2 rounds. In the middle, were just kind of up and down. Canelo started much faster, and I think he started better. Especially, he took the 12th round clean. I think he edged out the 11th. I think he possibly could have taken the 8th and the 9th, too. So the scorecards, the 115-113, I wasn't mad at. The 114-114, not mad at. That 118-110 card, though, that was bullshit. That was a I hate to scream robbery. I hate to scream corruption, but that was a bought scorecard. There was no way I could give Canelo 10 rounds to 2. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds, trying to give someone 10 rounds in that close of a fight? That means you give every benefit of the doubt to Canelo throughout this fight. And I don't care what anyone says. That was a piss poor card, the scorecard. But everything else, it was very close. It could have went either way, and we have to do it again. Unfortunately, Danny Jacobs, he has a fight coming up on the Luis Ortiz Deontay Wilder card. Is going to have to wait his turn. After that fight, if I'm him, I go after Billy Joe Saunders and try to get that WBO belt. Because the middleweight division is really stepping up. I mean, you have Charlo, you have Derevyanchenko, you have Murata, and Hassan N'Dam having their rematch. So you have Hugo Centeno, who got a win not too long ago. So it's starting to heat up, and it's not as top heavy as it used to be. But this was a great fight. It was almost overshadowed by that one card, but that fight, we don't get classics like that. That might be, it was high level, high action, high intensity type fight. And that's what we need in these fights, like Golovkin Ward. That's what we need in these fights, like Joshua Klitschko, or however you want to say it. It's just, we need those kind of cards this year. And I loved every second of it. So tell us what you think. Hakeem and I will come in a few days with the full breakdown for you, to tell you why it was a draw, who we thought could have edged it, and what we saw. Now, until next time, fight on.
Russia, this is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and going.